If you're an introverted entrepreneur, you're probably great at deep work, but when it comes to looking at your numbers, you shut down. Hi there, my name is Chika. I'm a CPA with 16 years of experience, and I'm also an introvert. So if you're new here and you're an introvert, subscribe to the channel. You don't want to miss out on what I have to offer. Now, today, I'm talking about why introverts specifically avoid their business finances, and it's not because you're bad at math. So let's get into it. This one is an interesting one. All right. So here's the thing. So if you are an introverted entrepreneur who avoids looking at your numbers, you probably tell yourself, I'm just not good with numbers. I'm not a math person. This isn't my strength. But here's the truth. It's really not about math. You don't avoid your numbers because you're bad at math. You avoid them because of how they make you feel. And that's what we're talking about today. So, why do introverts specifically struggle with business finances? So, here are the real reasons. So, number one, introverts internalize shame. When you look at a number that you don't like, maybe your bank balance is lower than you expected, or maybe you didn't make as much as you thought, you don't just think, oh, that's a problem to solve. You think, I'm bad at this, I'm failing, I'm not cut out for business. You begin to internalize it, you make it mean something about you. And that's painful. And that's why you avoid looking at it at all. Number two, introverts, we process internally. And so when you're confused about money, you don't reach out for help. You don't post in a Facebook group asking, hey, can somebody explain quarterly taxes to me? Instead, you just avoid. You tell yourself you'll figure it out later, but later never comes. Number three, introverts compare silently. So you see other entrepreneurs posting about their revenue on social media, right? That's so popular. I just made $1 million in 20 minutes. I just hit $50,000 in a month. A little bit more realistic, right? I just crossed six figures. And instead of using all of that info as motivation, you use it as proof that you're behind. You think, I should be there by now. What is wrong with me? And then you avoid your numbers because you don't want to comfort how far you feel behind. Number four, introverts need systems. Yeah, we don't thrive in chaos. That's my nervous system. Woo. We do not thrive in chaos. And so when your money feels chaotic, transactions everywhere, nothing organized, there's no clarity, you start to shut down because we need structure. We need structure, we need systems. We need to know what to do, when to do it. And so if you don't have that, then tend to just do something else, right? We procrastinate, we put it off, put it off, put it off. So if you've been avoiding your numbers, again, it's not a math issue. It's not that you're bad at it. Something needs to be recalibrated in your system. You're overwhelmed, you feel ashamed, you're comparing yourself to other people, and you don't have a system. And again, I'm an introvert, so I really know these things personally, especially when I first started my career. I was like early 20s, right? I used to do the same thing. I'm an introvert. And over 16 years ago, my early 20s, I had all these ideas about what it meant to be introvert, right? I thought that an introvert person was a shy person. Oh, we don't speak up. We don't speak our mind. We stay quiet. We keep things in. And I don't know. I think I held on to those stereotypes as a way to like self protect. I don't know. It was easier that way. I don't know. And so, of course, I would lurk in Facebook groups. Even when I was a member of certain groups, I would just lurk. I would just read, but I would not participate. I would not engage. And I would show up to Zoom meetings, but I'm not sharing. I don't have my camera on. I wouldn't raise my hand. I wouldn't ask questions. And that's kind of how I showed up with my numbers as well. And what's funny The people online talking about hitting six figures, seven figures, making 100K in 30 days, doing all those amazing things. I didn't celebrate. I just put my head down and I worked and I worked and I worked. And I told myself, okay, I'm not going to brag. Like, next goal, what's the next thing, right? I'm just going to do my work. I'm just going to show up for my clients. And I got so caught up helping other people that I neglected myself. Does this sound familiar? Tell me in the comments if you can relate. And I didn't look at my numbers. I wasn't even tracking my stuff. Again, it was just go, 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 work, work, work. And the only time that I'd see my numbers was when it was time to file the tax returns. And of course, that's once a year. So, of course, I'd be surprised. Oh, wow, my revenue, it's doubled since last year. And I'd be happy, I'd be excited for like a day. And then I would get back to work. And then 11 months later, 12 months later, same thing. I would avoid my numbers until it was time to do the return. And then I'm like, oh, that's better. That's better. Right? Now, here's the thing. If I'd been looking at my numbers every month, I know that I would have felt that excitement every month, right? Because I would have seen those numbers performing better and better and better. And that would have excited me. And that excitement would have really gone into my decision making, not year after year, but month after month, right? And so with that data, I know I would have improved even faster, even faster. And let's say things were not going well, let's say there were numbers that maybe I was underperforming from month to month, I would have looked at that, I would have had that data, and I would have been able to take action on that data. But instead, because I was only looking at it once a year at the deadline when it was time to file taxes, I was scrambling to file my tax returns. And so at that point, there was no space to think, to be proactive, to zoom out, to future think. It was just get this done, file the taxes. I was just trying to file the taxes and pay whatever I owed and not think about it again for another 12 months. And I was just rinse and repeat and rinse and repeat. And dang, if I can go back and change that one thing, I know that I would have been further along faster with the data month to month, because I'm the type of person, and introverts, we tend to do this, where when we have the feedback, when we have the data, we use that to fuel us to perform better, to do better, to improve. Okay. And the crazy thing is, okay, now 16 years, fast forward to now. So I've been giving my clients, they get their financial statements every month. And we've done that for years and years, every month. And I don't know what they do with them, right? Me and my team, we get it done. The clients receive them. And recently, I'm like, I sat down with a client and I wanted to actually walk him through his numbers. And I pointed out to him, okay, look, over the past 12 months, you have bank fees that total $5,000. And he's like, wait, that's a lot of money. That's like $400 a month. Why? What's happening? And so he looked into it. And this is a client who makes $1 million a year. So when you think about 5,000 on the grand scheme is not big. But when you think about bank fees, where anything more than like $30, $40 a month is like, to me, it's excessive. Like, let's look into that. What's going on? And so he was able to check that and to notice that, oh, interesting. There would be times when that specific account, he has multiple accounts. So one of the accounts would have insufficient funds like at least once or twice a month. And it was crazy because, again, the money is there, the cash flow is there, but the timing in which he was funding this specific account was slower than it needed to be. And so, literally, the difference in $5,000 in bank fees versus $500 in bank fees was transferring money 3 days faster. than what he was doing to avoid those insufficient fees. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? So, again, having the data, looking at the data, and utilizing the data to take action, to ask questions. With those questions, get curious and put things to action. It's really, really powerful and empowering. And let's say you don't have an accountant, let's say you do it yourself. It's okay. Like, you can have similar results because, again, what you will have is the data, the monthly data. And so you would be looking at your numbers. And as you look, you'll be able to see, okay, what's the pattern? What's making sense? Are things looking similar month to month in terms of, again, things like bank charges? Is there something that looks a bit excessive? For me personally, I remember catching a $500 a month subscription that I had. It was related to brand photography. And I remember being 2 months removed from needing that service. So I'm like, wait, why is it still showing up? I thought I was done with these payments. So lo and behold, I take a look, right? That month, I'm like, okay, let me look. And I saw that they were still charging me. They did not stop the subscription payment. So I sent an email. Hey, I'm done with this. You've charged me 2 extra months. I need a refund. And lo and behold, they're like, oh, yeah, sorry, you should have emailed us to turn off the auto pay. My bad. But think about that. It would have continued. $500 a month. That's a lot of money. $6,000. That would have just been used and just out of my bank account simply because I'm not even looking at my numbers. And let's say I did catch that mistake, but it was 12 months later, right? It was time for tax filing. And I go to the company. I imagine that they may not be willing to refund me all 12 months. They might have given me a partial refund. And yeah, that probably would have resulted in not so happy customer service or experience. But again, like, we have autonomy and we have responsibility ourselves, especially as business owners, to ensure that things are making sense and that we are tracking our numbers and utilizing and reviewing the data on a month to month basis to make sure that things are intact. Very, very important. Now, here's something that most people don't talk about. When you avoid your numbers, your nervous system is involved with that. You probably have heard of fight, flight, freeze, fawn. So, let me show you how these four nervous system dysregulation states, how they show up when it comes to your money. So, fight, that's when you have anxious energy. You're spiraling. You say things like, oh my gosh, I need to fix this now. I need to figure this out right now. You're panicking, you're scrambling, you're not thinking clearly. Now, flight, having to get out of there, that's when you're avoiding. You say things like, okay, I'll deal with this later. I just can't look at it right now. You close the tab, you do something else, you ignore the email, you ignore your accountant, you push it off. That's flight. Now let's talk about freeze. So freeze when you don't do nothing, that's when you shut down. You get numb. You say things like, dang, I can't think about this right now. I don't know where to start. You feel paralyzed. It doesn't feel good. You feel stuck. You can't move forward. That's freeze. And then fawn is when you're people pleasing. You say things such as, if I just focus on my clients and make them happy, the money will work itself out. You're avoiding the hard stuff by overgiving to others. You tune to others, you people please others, you forget about yourself. And for me, I've done a lot of fawning over the years, and I've done a lot of flight avoiding over the years as well. Now, here's the thing though. So, when you're in any of those four dysregulated states, you're not thinking clearly. And when you're not thinking clearly, you're not making good decisions. You're just trying to survive. You're just trying to get out of that dysregulation. And that's why looking at your numbers feels so hard. Your nervous system is really just trying to protect you, But avoidance doesn't actually protect you. It's just going to create more anxiety. And so you'll go from avoiding to feeling anxious, anxious to avoiding, right? We need to be in that state of calm, of regulated. Okay. So here's what you need to do. So before you look at your numbers, you need to regulate your nervous system. Otherwise, you're going to spiral, you're going to shut down, you're going to avoid. So here's the simple things that you can do. So before you even start to look at your numbers, you can make some tea. Sit down, make some tea, make some coffee, just something warm, right? Sipping something warm has a way of grounding us and relaxing us. So start off with tea or coffee, and it tells your body, okay, I'm safe. I feel good. And put on some music. That's another thing you can do. Put on music. I love listening to lo-fi music whenever I'm working. It has a way of just putting my brain state in a state of calm. So I'm not like overthinking or multitasking. Like I go into focus mode with lo-fi music, classical music, you can do that, or even jazz music. For me, I can't do lyrics. No lyrics and I'm trying to focus. But any kind of music, or even what also works for me is just like white noise. And you can just type in white noise on YouTube, type in lo-fi focus music on YouTube, and you can find some really good channels that way. Another thing you can do is go outside. And it doesn't have to be for a long time, all afternoon. No, take 5 minutes. Go outside, take a break from your computer, get some fresh air. You can even do some grounding. And that's where you go outside barefoot. And ideally, there's some grass out there where you can just put your bare feet on the grass, walk in the grass, stand in the grass, and you're just grounding yourself. And you're just sitting there or standing there. And grounding has a way of really just resetting the body and bringing us to present. It's almost magical how that happens. So, and even if you're not grounding, maybe you're not in a place to take off your shoes, or maybe there's no grass and it's cement. Generally, it doesn't really work on cement. You want grass or sand or dirt. Basically, like you want nature on your feet, right? So cement doesn't count. But even just getting fresh air is enough. I'll go outside, and yeah, something about the sun, or if it's chill, just being outside has a way of just waking us up. It's so beautiful how that happens. Another thing you can do is do a body scan. This body scan, you can close your eyes when you're doing this, and you can start from head down and just scan your body. You can just picture yourself from the head down. You can even put your hand on your heart when you're doing it, because this will help you to really connect with your body as well. Make sure your feet are connected to the floor if you can. And just scan your body. Feel, where are you feeling tight? Maybe it's the neck. Maybe it's the shoulders. Scan your body. Go down. Are you breathing shallow? Are you taking long, slow, deep breaths? Ideally, you want to take long, slow, deep breaths. And just go down the body, the belly. Maybe you feel it rise. As you exhale, you feel it soften. And keep scanning down your thighs. Are you holding tension there? Are you able to relax it? Yeah, just relax. Keep scanning down your feet. You can wiggle your toes. Yeah. And when you're at your feet, you can bring yourself back to awareness. And you can open your eyes. Oh man. And you just feel how that feels. You're going to be more relaxed. You're going to be more present, not in your brain, in your head, in your thoughts. You're just going to be. You're just going to be. Yeah. Release whatever is not serving you. Oh, that's so beautiful. And then another thing you can do. Oh my gosh. I'm like, I should have done that last. That's so powerful. And you see how little time it took. So the next time you're in a state of anxiousness, stress, overwhelm, you can't seem to get yourself out of your brain, just your thoughts are just going a mile a minute. Do the body scan. Do the body scan. Just close your eyes and just drop into your body. Drop into your body. Okay? Another thing you can do is you can set a timer. You can set a timer. Tell yourself, okay, I'm only going to do this for 10 minutes or 5 minutes. And that way, some of us, type A and introvert over here, where we're like, oh, I don't have time to do that. No, it doesn't take a lot of time. You can even set the timer for 5 minutes. Again, to go outside, short amount of time, do the body scan. And that'll help you get out of your head knowing that, okay, it's only 5 minutes, it's only 10 minutes, right? We all got to start from somewhere. Very important. Okay. Now, I want you to say out loud that I'm just looking. I'm not fixing anything today. I'm just checking in. And what this does is it removes the pressure that you put on yourself. We all do it. We put that pressure on ourselves that we got to do this thing. We should do this thing. No, you don't have to. You don't. Okay. Now, again, with these techniques, the goal is to move you from a dysregulated state. So, whether it's fight or flight or freeze or fawn, you want to get out of that state and you want to become more regulated. And regulated is when you feel calm, you feel present, you're in your body. All those thoughts are like you don't even remember. It's like it's gone. You're down here. You're in your body. You're not up here. You're down here. You're present. And then the sense of fun and curiosity comes to mind, comes to body, comes to light. That's the state we want to be in. And once you're in that state, then you look at your numbers. And I promise you, it'll be like night and day. Tell me in the comments, okay? So let's say that you've regulated your nervous system and you're calm, you're ready to look at your numbers, and then you open your bank account and you see, okay, $3,000 in expenses last month. And you think, okay, is this good? Is this bad? Can I deduct any of it? You don't know. So then you close the tab and you start to avoid again. But here's what changed everything for me. For me, a simple write off checklist. I knew I needed to create this checklist for the business owner that didn't really have a clue as to, okay, what can I write off? Right? Having that anxious energy of, I don't know what I can write off. Is this a business deduction? I don't know. And again, that anxious feeling can put you in that state of dysregulation. And so I knew, okay, let me create this checklist for business owners so they know, okay, these are 7 write offs that most entrepreneurs tend to miss. So I put that list together and I know that when I'm looking at my expenses, I'm not guessing. And I want the same for you. When you're looking at your expenses, you're not guessing. You're just checking, okay, is this on the list? Yes, cool. I can deduct it. If it's not, then maybe I can deduct it, maybe not, right? There's further investigation or questions that maybe need to be asked to determine it. But at least you know, like some of the 7 business expenses that, again, are write offs that business owners tend to miss. You have it there in the checklist and it's free. Okay. And it's for you. I've created this checklist. It's called the Ultimate Tax Write Off Checklist. And it's my free resource to you where it breaks down 7 deductions that smart entrepreneurs like you are probably missing. I don't want you to guess. I don't want you to Google, can I deduct this? No, you have the checklist. So the link is in the description below. Go ahead, go grab the checklist, download it. Okay. And here's what I want you to know: you don't need to be perfect. You don't need to love spreadsheets. No, not a requirement. You don't need to become a finance expert or an accountant. No, you just need to check in regularly, monthly, without judgment. And when you do that, everything starts to change. So if you're ready to stop avoiding your numbers, then again, just start with the free checklist. Download my free ultimate tax write off checklist. It's so simple, it's an actionable tool, and it's going to help you see what you can deduct. And when you know what you can write off, suddenly your expenses start to make sense. And suddenly your nervous system starts to regulate. The link is in the description. Grab it today. And if you found this video helpful, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, like the video, and comment below something that you learned and you'll take away and apply going forward. I want to know. So drop it in the comments below. And I hope to see you next time. Peace.